Hi guys, welcome to Brand X Reviews. Today is Monday the 26th of February 2018 and it's one of those days of the year that I really love when a Marvel Cinematic Universe gets a home video release. And when I say home video, I mean physically you can own this thing. I'm not talking about the digital releases because as you can see I like to physically own this collection and have it in my hands. I like to have it in my hands, there you go. I've been collecting these for a long time anyway, and if you've seen the channel and the other videos that I've done previously, you'll know that I have reviewed all of these and the extra features, and I've gone through it in great detail before. So that's what I'm going to do here today for Thor Ragnarok, because I was pretty chuffed with this, to be honest, with the extra features that came with it. And I'm going to go into that and itemise these. Now, just for context, I own all these films individually. I haven't gone for any box sets or anything like that. And when I've talked about these in the past, it's tradition on the channel for me to go into these. And in the past two of these that have come out, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Spider-Man Homecoming, have been these 4K UHD releases, which are pretty much the best formats to get right now. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up elsewhere, but it's basically high definition and a higher dynamic range of colours, which is what HDR means. Now, this film really does stand out in terms of the colours. As you would imagine, if you've seen the film, but you've not seen it in 4K, you can pretty much imagine which bits are going to stand out, all the colourful bits of the film. I imagined, and when I saw the film, I was right. I knew which bits would look great, and they do. So obviously it's a kind of a no-brainer, me going on about how good the 4K and the HDR looks. But what I'm really going to talk about is the extra features. Now, as usual, you get the extra features on the supplemental Blu-ray disc. The actual 4K disc carries just the film itself, pretty much. Now, I've got the Blu-ray disc in here behind me, so you can see. I'll just put it on there so you can see exactly what is what. So, to start with, you get featurettes, and there are 5 of them from memory, and they add up to about 35 minutes in total, which is pretty good, and it's quite interesting stuff as well. It didn't put me to sleep, which is always a good thing. Some featurettes can be very boring. These were actually quite interesting. So we've got one, Getting in Touch with Your Inner Thor, which is all about Chris Hemsworth and the character of Thor and how he's evolved and how Chris Hemsworth loves playing the role, that kind of thing, which is good. There's Unstoppable Women, Hela and Valkyrie, which is all about the 2 female characters in this, Hela and Valkyrie, the actresses that are playing them. There's lots of interviews. It's quite good stuff. Finding Korg. Now, Korg is the character, the guy that's made out of stone, played by Taika Waititi, who also directed the film. It kind of goes into a little bit about that, so that's quite interesting as well. Sakaar on the Edge of the Known and Unknown, that's about the planet that you see where all the gladiatorial stuff happens. And then there's Journey into Mystery as well, which I can't remember what that was about, so it can't have been that good. But yeah, like I say, 5 featurettes, 35 minutes in total. So let's go back to the main screen. You've got a gag reel. I'm not a fan of gag reels, to be honest. This one goes on for about 2 minutes, but I always say I'm not a big fan of gag reels. They seem a bit contrived to me. Team Daryl, I'm going to get back to that one. Marvel Studios, the first 10 years, the evolution of heroes. It's about 5 to 10 minutes long, as you can use your imagination. It's about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because this year does mark the 10th anniversary of the MCU. Obviously, it started in 2008 with Iron Man. And then deleted scenes, I was a little disappointed by, because it's more extended scenes, and I was hoping to have some of the stuff that they filmed in New York, which I knew that they ditched a lot of it. For example, there was a lot of stuff with Anthony Hopkins living on the street as a homeless man. He'd been kind of tricked into believing that instead of being Odin, he is just a bum. And that would have been quite funny, but I think they just dropped it because they thought it was maybe a disrespectful way to see that character go. But unfortunately you can't even get to see it in the deleted scene, so a little bit disappointing there. And then you've got these 8-bit sequences. It's only about a minute long, and it's just some supposedly conceptual stuff that they put together. You can kind of use your imagination what it is. Not all that exciting, to be honest. There's audio commentary as well, but I don't really pay attention to those things. Now, as I say, Team Daryl, I'm going to talk a little bit about it now. Now, on the previous Marvel Cinematic Universe films, starting with the original Thor film in 2011, when that got home video release, you'd get these extra features called Marvel one-shots. And they were basically short films that were supposedly canon with the movies, but they were filmed exclusively to be included with the Blu-ray releases. And it started out, they'd be like a few minutes long, they'd be done mostly for comedy, and you'd have things like a video about Agent Coulson and Agent Sitwell, just basically goofing around talking. So they're quite a low budget, but they were supposedly canon with the movies, and they were quite interesting as well. And like I say, that started with the first Thor film, and that got a home video release in 2011. So the next few films, Captain America, the first Avenger, Avengers Assemble had one. They got better as they went along, and then you had, when Iron Man 3 came out, you had a Marvel one-shot about Agent Carter. So that was quite interesting. It was kind of a pilot for the Agent Carter series, as it turned out, and it worked quite well. And then the last one they ever did was released with Thor: The Dark World, which got a home video release in early 2014, and that one had the Mandarin, and it was him in prison. It was really good. It peaked there, and then they just stopped it. It was a bit of a shame, really. I think they stopped it because, well, they figured, well, we're doing the TV side of things, so we can just kind of throw ideas out in the TV stuff. So, I mean, I would argue that the Marvel one-shots were better than anything that the TV side of things have produced, at least on network television. Netflix stuff's been very good, but that's a side issue. Now, unfortunately, like I said, they stopped doing that, but they did some similar stuff, but it was usually viral videos that went out on YouTube and then subsequently got released on the Blu-rays. So, for example, we had the WHIH newscasts that came out that starred Christine Everhart and also had Paul Rudd as Ant-Man on these YouTube viral videos, and they were released as tie-ins when the movies were getting released at the cinema. Then when these movies, like Ant-Man for example, got released on home video, they included them on the Blu-ray, which was really good. And they've continued to do little things like that, but it's not been under the umbrella of Marvel one-shots, and like I say, as far as I'm aware, that's a dead thing. But at least they're doing something similar. Now, when Captain America Civil War came out in cinemas, they did a video, I think it was around about then, anyway, maybe shortly after from memory, but they did a video called Team Thor. It was basically about what Thor was doing during the Civil War, why he wasn't in it, and also why Bruce Banner wasn't there, as well as the Hulk. And they're on Earth. Now, I question whether or not this is canon, because obviously they're on Earth doing all that. I thought they were off-planet. You know, it doesn't make sense. So I question whether or not it's canon, but it's done for laughs anyway, and it's funny, so whatever. Now, they released part 1 on YouTube, but it's never been released on any of the Blu-rays, and as far as I'm aware, it's not gonna. They did a part 2, which was released and included on the Doctor Strange Blu-ray, which at the time I said, well, I hope they go back and release part 1. It's a bit weird that they've not released part 1 when they released part 2, and I did say I hope it gets released when Thor Ragnarok comes out. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Part 1 hasn't been released. Part 3, however, is Team Daryl. So Team Thor Part 3 isn't known as that, it's known as Team Daryl. And as you can see on here, it does mention, spoiler alert, it doesn't say exactly what is on it or who features on this. Now, spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you, so if you don't want to know, tell the video off now. Basically, Team Daryl is all about Daryl, who, if you've seen Team Thor Parts 1 and 2, is the guy that Thor lives with on Earth. And Thor kind of annoys him a little bit. Well, Thor has now moved out from living with Daryl, and the person that's moved in with Daryl is a Grandmaster, played by Jeff Goldblum, and he's in it, and he's pretty cool. It's a few minutes long, but they didn't want to give that away. It was kind of a surprise, you know, when you buy the thing, that's the case. Now, again, I'm questioning how canon this is, because basically we have the Grandmaster, played by Jeff Goldblum, living on Earth, and he's talking in a funny way about how he's going to become the new ruler of planet Earth and the plans that he's got. But again, is the Grandmaster on Earth? Because I thought he was still in Sakaar. That's how the film ended. What's he doing on Earth? I don't understand. Is this actually canon, or is it just done for laughs? I think it's just done for laughs, to be honest. I think it's kind of like an Elseworld kind of thing. Like I say, just done for laughs. I keep saying that. But there you go. So those are the extra features anyway. Now, like I say, I always review these the day they come out, and I usually talk about what else is coming out. Obviously, we've got Avengers Infinity War, so I'm really looking forward to that. Kind of goes without saying. In terms of the home video releases that are coming out, the next thing in the movie side of things will obviously be Black Panther. I expect that to be out around about June time. Now, in terms of the TV side of things, the Netflix stuff is usually at the very least a year behind it getting released on Netflix when you can actually get it on Blu-ray. So obviously we've got Iron Fist, we've got The Defenders, and we've got The Punisher to come out yet. The Punisher was really good. I'm looking forward to physically owning those. There's the network television side of things. We still don't have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Series 4, which is very strange because usually they're a bit quicker at releasing them than that. I mean, we're currently on the Series 5 at the moment, well underway with that. I haven't been watching it for a while because I kind of got bored of it, but I will get on catch up with it. You don't need to know that though. But we've also got the Inhumans as well, which again, I didn't even watch that. I probably won't watch that, and there's no plan that I know of for them releasing it. I'm sure they will, but there's nothing announced yet. So that's it for the home videos anyway. So I will be reviewing these things. So if you want to follow us on BluRay Reviews, you can do. You can subscribe on YouTube, obviously. You can go back and see the previous reviews of all these films that I've done on the home video releases. You can follow us on Instagram and also Facebook. But for now, I think I've pretty much covered it all. So I'll just say thank you very much for watching, and we will see you when Avengers Infinity War comes out. Fingers crossed, it's going to be a good one. See you later, guys. Hi guys, welcome to BluRay Reviews. Today is Thursday. No, it's not. Thursday?